Okay, today's math, we are still working with division, and we are going to think about dividing by multiples of 10. We did that in multiplication before we got to more challenging multiplication questions, because there are kind of some secrets that, or some tricks that if you understand how dividing by multiples of 10 work, then you can break down a number and divide it using multiples of 10, and it will help you kind of understand what is happening when you're dividing and make some of these more efficient strategies, strategies that you can understand and use when you're dividing bigger problems. So let's just take a look here. The first question says divide the blocks among two equal groups. So everything we're doing, we're dividing in half. So 6 divided by 2 is going to be 3. So we're just going to circle our two equal groups. Here we have 1, 2, well, these are base 10 blocks, so they're each going to be worth 10. So 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60. But if we divide it by 2 in each group, we have 30. Ooh, I'm going to need to get my mouse out of my backpack here so I can draw a little neater, more neatly, I think would be a better way of saying that. All right, well, let's look at this. We have 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, and we need to divide it in two. So first we need to put down that we have 100, and we're going to divide 100 into two equal groups. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you know that 50 is half of 100, you don't even need to create the groups, but I'm going to create them just to show that there's an equal amount in each group, and 50 plus 50 is 100. So 100 divided by 2 is 50. This one's interesting. I'm going to sort these ones. So first I'm going to see how many we have. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43, 44, 45, 46. 46 divided by 2. So what plus itself equals 46? Well, I've got 4 tens, so I could put 2 tens in each group, and that would be equal. And then I've got 6 ones, so if I put 3 ones in each group, that would also be equal. So I'm just going to use a line to join my tens with my ones to make my equal groups. So this is an equal group of 23, and here's an equal group of 23. So 46 divided by 2 is going to give us 23. Okay, so I did that whole first chart for you. Didn't even let you do any thinking, but hopefully that helps you start to understand how we're going to be dividing a little bit here. Here it says divide 8 tens among 4 equal groups, then finish the division equation. Okay, so 8 tens divided by 4 is going to equal 2 tens. So 80 divided by 4 is going to equal 20. So 8 tens divided by 4 equals 2 tens. 2, 4, 6, 8. So 80, which is also 8 tens. So if we ignore the 0 for a minute here, and we do 8 divided by 4, we're going to end up with 2 tens. So 8 tens divided by 4 is going to give us 2 tens, and then we can put that 0 back on. If we look at the next one, divide 9 tens among 3 equal groups. Okay, well, we're going to skip count by 3s. That's a strategy a lot of you are using. So we're going to skip count by 3s until we get to 9 and see how many times it took us to get there. So 3, 6, 9. So that's 3 groups of 3, or 3 times I counted by 3. So my answer is going to be 3. So 9 tens divided by 3 is 3 tens. So 90, which is the same as saying 9 tens, divided by 3 is going to give us 3 tens, but we're going to write it in its number form. 3 tens is worth 30. All right. The rest of the page is more practice of just catching on that this is happening in division just like it was happening in multiplication. So we can kind of ignore zeros at the back of numbers, work with those front digits, and then make sure we add on what we ignored. Down here, I want you to simply divide. And number 4, I want you to draw blocks to divide. And then we're kind of moving on here to dividing multiples of 10. So if we have 30 divided by 10, you could skip count by 10s until you get to 30. And then count how many jumps you took. 10, 20, 30, 3 jumps. Okay, so your answer is going to be 3. $50 divided by 10, same thing. So again, we're just going to skip count by 10s and see how many times it took us to get there. You guys can practice that. I'll do one more for you. Leave it right out in the text box here. So if we're dividing 50 by 10, I'm going to go 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And I'm going to see that it took me 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 jumps of 10. And we're going to put our answer in right there. Grace wants to calculate 60 divided by 5. She notices that there are 2 groups of 5 in every tens block. She draws 6 10 blocks and then skip counts by 2 to divide. So each 10 block is worth 2 groups of 5. So that's the strategy she's using to divide 60 into 5 to get an answer of 12. Here it wants you to draw those tens blocks and then skip count by 2 to divide by 5. So this is a strategy for dividing by 5 that may be interesting for you. It also may not be. If you want to skip count by 5s because that's a friendly number, you can totally do that. And you'll end up with your right answer. So let's just do it the way they want us to do it, though. We are going to draw 30. So there's my 3 10s. And if I count each block by 2, because there's 2 groups of 5 in each block, I am going to get the right answer pretty quickly. So I do like that strategy. But if I wanted to do it here, we'll do 5 lines showing 5 10s. And I'm going to skip count by 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. And if I want to double check my work, because multiplication is the opposite of division, I could just go 10 times 5. Does that equal 50? Yes, it does. I know I'm right. 6 times 5, does that equal 30? 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30. Oh, yeah. Okay, great. As you move down this page, it's just a little more practice. And onto the back. It's just lots of practice. So this is a great page to practice your strategies. We're dividing by 10s. We're dividing by multiples of 10. We are dividing by 5s and dividing by 2s. So getting practice to seeing the patterns in each of those. And if you want to check to see if your answer is right, remember you can multiply or you can do some adding to work with your answer. So let's just jump down here to the bonus and see 44 divided by 2. Well, we need to think what plus what equals 44. You might think that 22 plus 22 equals 44 if we're adding those up. So that's 2 groups of 22 equals 44. So that answer would be 22. And you could also check it through multiplication. 2 times 22 equals 44.